Welcome back to Wizard Supercoach. Scored a 2,440 this week, so not great at all. We've dropped down to a season low of 3,278th place. Doubled the rank, basically, in a week, so it's not been good. It didn't feel like the worst score. There were some really good players and scores in there, but obviously it was just bigger scores around that I didn't have, so I'm not too worried at all. In fact, I'm not. I actually think that this season has been a good learning curve for good reasons. So I've never been ranked this high at this time of the year. So hopefully this is just building towards next year, and I'll make some different choices in that second third of the season, which is where I really stuffed up. So this is actually my biggest score of the season, and only slightly higher than round one, which was my previous best. So yeah, you would think with a nearly completed team, you should be smashing around one score, but no, actually, they're quite close. So, yeah, it's just the way the season's gone. It pretty much sums up my season, really. Anyway, we'll get into the team. Still going to try and finish as high as I can. Obviously, I'm not giving up. But yeah, that top 1,000 finish, I think that's off the cards now. So, and to be honest, there's a lot less pressure, I feel. So, it's okay. Like, I'm not freaking out when a player gets a shitty score anymore. It's kind of like, oh, well, here we go again. It's all good. Now, 6 trades left. I got 81k, and anyone that's been following this is probably wondering how I got the 81k, because the last video I made, I had no money whatsoever. I didn't make a trade video, but I did make one trade on the Friday, and I got rid of Ison and bought in Herbert. The reason why, there was 2 reasons, I guess. One was because I realized that it was going to be too hard to probably go like a 2 up, 1 down kind of thing. And so I need to get some money somewhere, and I might even need money down the track. So, you know, I've got these trades, but I'm going to need something to fund them. So I thought Herbert's probably going to make quick money. So Ison out, Herbert in, because Ison had stalled. And then the other reason is because if Cherry had have gone good this week, I would have kept him. But he didn't, and he's almost certainly going to be traded this week because he's scoring like a decent rookie, and I can't have that for that amount of money. Not when we've got 2 spots to upgrade. Yeah. Only got the 21 primos right now. I mean, some of them are questionable, whether they're actual primos or just frauds, but gonna have to force it, gonna have to make it happen. So I think Cherry's gone. Anyway, we'll get into the team. So from defence, as always, and the defence was pretty lackluster this week. Usually it's not too bad, but yeah, Holmes and Ash pretty much score what they've been doing week on week. It's pretty in line with their average, so that's fine. Whitfield unfortunately got concussed, so I'm not going to trade him, but he's probably going to miss maybe 2, maybe 1. Depends on the Giants splits, how close those games are together. I haven't looked, but he's at least going to miss 1. We know that. Worrell was very disappointing at 81, and he really only got that because he had a good last quarter in terms of Supercoach. Quite a shitty game by his standards, Supercoach aside. In fact, his whole season, I was having to think about it. Like last year, he broke out. He had a really good season. And I'm not talking Supercoach here. I was talking in general. And then he started this season like a natural progression, even better, I think, than last year, maybe the first month. Ever since then, he's kind of dropped back to lower than what he was doing last season. And again, this isn't a Supercoach opinion. This is just footy in general. I know his Supercoach scores have actually been better this year, but, you know, real footy is what Supercoach is based on, so it's worth talking about. So yeah, disappointing from Worrell. I think he was on like 40-something at 3/4 time. So, you know, not a bad recovery, but still, he shouldn't have been there. Makes some crazy errors at the moment. Then Blakey, this has been a terrible choice. So, bought in Blakey for Sinclair last week, and it was because I didn't want to waste 2, or I thought wasting at the time, but I wouldn't have been. I didn't want to go 2 trades to get Nas. I couldn't just go Sinclair to Nas without having to use 2 trades. So I thought I'll get Blakey because, you know, he's been good, and I was really really hot on him in the pre-season. And he'd actually been, he'd been good up to this point, but the last 2 weeks have not been good. Sums up my season. As soon as I get a player, they don't do well. But at this point, it's almost funny. So, yeah, Blakey, big letdown. I'm hoping for a big one next week against Fremantle. Surely there's going to be a lot of ball in the back line. I think Sydney are going to get smoked by Fremantle too. They'll be pretty desperate to atone for whatever the hell that was against the Giants. And speaking of Freo, Clark actually was good, 96. I'll take that. For him, and considering his recent form this year, yeah, a 96 for him is pretty damn good. So we won't complain. That makes him the 3rd highest defender for me this week. Also, kind of sums up where the team is at when, you've got a fully finished back line and a 96 is your 3rd score. Now, one thing that was good in terms of cash gen, yes, we're still talking about cash gen with only 7 or 8 weeks to go. The bench. So Hugo with a 73 and McDonald with a 74. Now, I think that's McDonald's biggest score for the year. So he's now got a break even of 5. He's actually going to come in handy, it seems. Well, he may. He may just stick there till the end because we might be fully done by the time he makes enough to cash in. But Hugo, I think he's going to help us get that final upgrade. I know some people are keeping him as cover. Maybe I'll do it if I can find another way because I'm keen. I think he's pretty cemented in the lineup for the Crom, but it's good to have these options of money still. Obviously, we're at the point where we're going to start bringing in some 99k rookies, non-playing rookies probably. But yeah, it's good options for these two. So that was nice to see. The bench performed well. You can't argue with 70s out of rookies. And then the midfield. So this is a mixed bag here. Dacos, great with the 133. Butters with the 103 was a bit quiet, but he salvaged an all right score in the end by his standards. Heaney, 108, I guess decent. I don't know. Probably not by his standards, just average. But yeah, Anderson and 84. So I didn't see the game, and I know that the Suns obviously lost. Was he tagged? Because I don't remember Collingwood tagging anytime recently. Or did he just have a shit game? I'm not sure. And then the Bont. So an 80 out of the Bont. These two have been good lately. What's the Bont been scoring? I'm sure he's been good. So they really let me down after, I've kind of been leaning on them, especially Anderson lately. Yeah, the Bont was on a good run. 5 weeks of tons. I hate to say it, but I get the feeling that the Bont's best is past him now. I think the game has gotten faster than he can handle. Don't get me wrong, he's still elite. He's still absolute top player in the game. But in terms of Supercoach, I think he's hit the summit and he's coming down the other side now. Only slowly, but, it happens to everyone. I think he's 30 now. Having said that, he'll probably come out and average 130 next year because I've said that. And hopefully, but I think the days of him being the clear number 1 mid are over. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be too much of an unpopular opinion. I think the numbers kind of back it up. A 118 average is still really good, but he's not at the top. You can see the other averages here are higher and he's getting more injury prone. So yeah, can't complain too much though when the guy's given us years and years of 120 pluses. And speaking of 120s, Merritt with the 120, very nice. Looked like he had midfield time. I think he was splitting between midfield and half back by the look of it. I didn't actually check the CBA splits or anything, just watching the game. Yeah, he's a very smart player. Really, really respect him actually. He could have easily just thrown in the towel this year because he didn't get what he wanted, but it looks like he's still trying his guts out. So yeah, no wonder opposition teams really want him, especially Hawthorn. And no wonder Essendon are pretty desperate to hang on to him, I think. Callaghan 104. Another low ton for Callaghan, but you can't say the guy's not consistent. At least, a player giving you these 104, 103, 103, 93, 144, 104. But like these low hundreds every week, you can't complain with that, especially when you're paid, I don't know, 470 or something for the guy. So, yes, I'm happy with that. This one, though, was a letdown. Coming with the 53, he's been really good lately. I think he's been averaging like 70 odd the last few weeks. 75 3-round average, 70 for a 5-round. That was a good guess. Yeah, so he's made 150k now. He's probably got one more week in this team and then he's gone. He'll become, I don't know, some Fulham primo or something. It won't be this week though. I've got a different plan, but I think he'll do all right. One last score. His break even is 66. He should make that. Even if he doesn't, I don't think he's going to lose any significant amount of money. So, yeah, I think he's next week's upgrade. And then the bench here. So Sharp with that 65. Now, it's interesting. In my last video, somebody commented, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but they said that one of the mistakes I'd probably made this year was hanging on to non-playing players like Sharp for too long. That may be true, but in my opinion, I think he's done a good job. So I think for like the first 10 weeks or something, I was averaging like 155 with the captains. And partly that's because I had Sharp to be that perma-loop. And then when he finally came back from injury, because for a long while there, I think he was stranded on the bubble or he had only one price rise, something like that. He finally came back and then he actually started scoring. And then I thought, well, there's not enough money on his head to get rid of him in upgrade season. Probably a waste. So I thought I'd just wait. And yeah, he started scoring and now he's making money. So he's made 107k. He's probably going to help fund that upgrade next week or, yeah, probably next week. So probably Sharp and Cumming gone next week. And you'll see at the end how I'm going to make all this happen. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. Sorry, whoever made that comment, but yeah, I think he's actually done a good job. But the logic behind your comment is right. I think having too many non-playing players at the start of the year while trying to get points on the field, it's going to catch up to you in the end. And it may have done for me, but I think it was different reasons for this team why shit went downhill. But yeah, I do see what you're saying, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered writing that out in a comment, so I made a note to say something in this video. So I hope you're watching, and yeah, cheers for the comment. Herbert. So sorry I broke him. As soon as I bring these rookies in, they always have a shitty third score. Although I don't think it's just me. It seems to be like a bit of a trend I've noticed in Supercoach. As soon as the rookies are on the bubble, that third score is always a low one. Now 56 is not terrible at all for a 99k rookie. And he's going to make a shit ton of cash for us. But yeah, I don't know. Probably expect a little bit better. Especially against the Crom. Their midfield's not that crash hot. West Coast actually play well. I don't know if the Crom were absolutely shit. I mean, the first quarter was good. Then they kind of put the Q in the rack, it looks like. But West Coast didn't stop pushing. So I actually thought at 3/4 time they might overrun us, but wasn't to be. Now, Gorn, the king, the 165. So definitely the right captain option here. VC'd Heaney. I thought he'd do better than that, but as soon as I saw that Ned Reeves was out and that it would be Gorn up against just Meek, yeah, it was like a shark with some blood in the water. I think Gorn would have been licking his lips and so was I. So yeah, that 165 is huge. And I don't know, for anyone that traded him out when Max Heath was in the team, I feel sorry for you. Like that, yeah, that's just bad luck. I could see why you would have done it, but he's just been killer ever since. And he wasn't even doing that bad then. He still hasn't dropped below the ton. Some players you just pay up for. He's number one in the game again. Is this ever going to end? Like, is he going to start dropping? Like, surely it has to be next year. I hope not, but he can't do this forever. It's not possible. Grundy the 105. Now, I don't want to complain anymore about this kind of stuff, but I swear, just from looking at his stat line, that he was underscored. Like, surely what he did was a 120. He had 60 hitouts. Now, I know that the hitouts to advantage are the ones that count, but it looked a lot higher than a 105, especially if you compare it to like a Jordan sweep. And I know that was a close game, but even still, it's not like the Swans were 100 points ahead of the Dogs. Let's have a look at his stat line, actually. So only the 6 kicks, so that's going to hurt. 17 disposals, though, 9 contested, so that's all right. 5 tackles, didn't give away any frees, only 2 clangers. The efficiency's not great, 53. 6 clearances. I know clearances aren't actually scored with the raw score, but I think it probably comes into a bit of scaling. I'm not sure. It's hard to know. But yeah, 60 hitouts with 14 to advantage. That seems a lot higher than a 105. I mean, what is it? 3 points for a hit out to advantage? So we're looking at like 42 points there just from hit outs to advantage. Yeah, bizarre. And then, I mean, I guess I'm only looking at the stat line here. I didn't actually see the game, so I can't say too much. Just, again, like I've said this before, when you watch a lot of footy, you start to subconsciously pick up what these big scores look like as stat lines. And this looks like a big score to me. I saw some people saying that he should have had like, I don't know, a few more hitouts to advantage, but for some reason Champion Data didn't bother registering them or something. I don't know, but just sometimes it feels like some players have got to absolutely put in like a career game to get any kind of score. And then you see some other players that, you know, they're like topic of the month and they don't do jack shit and they get good scores. I don't know. It's just, this year seems extra odd in that regard. I don't know why. Again, I could be imagining it, but I don't know. It's quite odd. Anyway, that's enough on that. The big Shees. I did not expect a 180 out of him. I thought he'd go well against Port, but he is just in some form right now. Both regarding Supercoach and just in general. I think the whole Sheezy ball thing has been put to rest now. So, yeah, everyone's got him and people would have captained him and got an extra 15 points. That's fine. It wouldn't have saved me anyway. Yeah, Pickett 103. Nice return there. What a strange game. I didn't watch that, but I was kind of following the scores on and off. Was actually was coaching a footy game at the time, and I was looking at the scores during the breaks, and yeah, what a crazy last quarter. But I didn't expect Melbourne to win, and I certainly didn't expect to see them up by like 12 or 13 goals at half time. It was crazy. Pickett the 103 though. Very nice. He's been a big letdown lately, so hopefully he can keep this up. He's got Richmond. Are Richmond going to tag him? Who have Richmond got that tags? Can't really think of anyone. He should go big. But that this year, it's kind of felt like the games where you think he's going to go huge, he doesn't. I mean, I wouldn't have expected him, if I was going to pick a team that he wasn't going to go well against, it'd be Hawthorn. I know they had a few out and stuff, but they're just that kind of like suffocating team that are hard to score on. So, yeah, I don't know with Pickett. You just kind of put him there and hope for the best. Going to be interesting for next year, that's for sure. Petrarca as well, back in form, 117. I cannot believe what's gone on with the Suns. They're in 14th spot now, I think. Yeah, that's just, it's insane. Let me have a look at the ladder quickly. Yeah, 14th spot. How they are only one game ahead of Port is just, it's crazy. And no disrespect to Port at all. I've said a few times on this channel this year that I think Port have done well. Even though they are in the bottom 4, they've exceeded expectations. I thought, well, at least mine, I thought they were going to be lower than that. I thought they'd really struggle. But defensively, they've been elite. So for the Suns though at the start of the year, like you wouldn't have thought they're going to be a game ahead of Port and one game out of the bottom 4. Like that's just That's crazy. I don't know what we're all worried about at the start of the year with, you know, um, them paying cents on the dollar for these academy kids and stuff. Now, no doubt it'll probably burn every other club down the track, and it's just genuinely unfair. But yeah, that short term turnaround that we were expecting, it just hasn't come. I don't know. Maybe the rumours are true about Dimmer. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of investigations and reviews on it, but they should not be where they are at all. Even though I've been critical of some of their list decisions and trading decisions this year, they still shouldn't be that low at all. Yeah, quite the head scratcher. I'll move on. Durham 109. This is one of the best trades I've ever made, bringing him in. We got him for like 350 or something. I don't know. It was definitely 3 something. And he's pretty much tonned every single week. So for that price, he's been great. Here we go. 120. So I've gotten out of him a 90, a 128, and a 109. So yeah, so far he's been absolutely amazing for the price. I think he's the highest CBA getter at Essendon too, so it doesn't look like he's going anywhere anytime soon. I'd actually, I'm going to look at him next year. I reckon you can start him because how many weeks to go? 7 weeks to go, I think. His average is going to be down because of how he started the year. So I think he's going to be underpriced next year if you assume that he's going to continue to be the number 1 mid at Essendon. I mean, there's a long way to go. We don't even know who the coach is going to be, but if we get that indicator that he will be still the number 1, and why wouldn't you? He's playing really well in there. Yeah, he's going to be underpriced, I think. Although if he keeps pumping out these scores, which I don't think he will, but yeah, let's just say he keeps the ton run up for the rest of the year. Yeah. So I don't know. I almost hope that he doesn't, so that we can get him next year for cheap, start him for cheap. But yeah, because like I said before, I think my hopes of a top 1,000 finish are over. So it's kind of weird, like hoping that your player doesn't go too good this year, so that you can get him for next year. Anyway, Took the 93, highest score that I've gotten out of him. So not bad. Problem with all these Gold Coast players, except for Anderson, I guess, is unless they're flogging teams, they're not scoring very well at the moment. So yeah, they're very much reliant on how the team's going. Took didn't used to be that way at all. Even as recently as last year, he was pretty good at scoring in losses, but I don't know, he's getting on now. But yeah, take a 93. Then Lake. Now I knew that this score wouldn't count, so I kind of didn't care that I had to field him. I mean, it's not ideal, but yeah, I wasn't too worried. So 28, whatever. He's like basically dead after that, but I don't think he'll keep his spot in the team anyway. And yeah, after this week, I think one of them's going to go anyway, probably Banfield. So Lake will just become like a swing here with Sharp or something. I don't know. And then we got Cherry in the flex, who, as I said before, is not even the number 1 ruck anymore in his own team. If you had said that at the start of the year, everyone would think you're on drugs, but it's happened. He can't jump, and Trembath has amazing potential. So I don't really blame Clarko for what he's doing. With the way the game's going, Cherry's not the way forward. Problem is, Cherry's not a very good attacking player, like up forward, and doesn't really take too many marks. So yeah, now that he's not around all the contests and getting those tackles and contested handballs and stuff like that, there's really no need to have him. So I can't see his score coming up. So that brings us to this week's trades. So I think Cherry's got to go. You're probably thinking, oh, it's pretty sideways, but it's a pretty glaring problem in the team. He's going to continue to be this way, I reckon. So he's got to go. Plus that flex is really like not flexible with the ruck in there. You got to remember that when I bought him into it, I thought that it was pretty clear cut who the top 3 rucks were, because at that stage they were all going off their nut, and they had been for quite a while. But then yeah, Cherry just imploded. So I think he's gone. What do we do? We move Hugo to the flex for now. Maybe get like a 99k rookie in defense. Is there anyone like on the bubble that's cheap? Oh, that Franco kid looked good. West Coast one, but he's a mid. And Mraz with a 101 on debut. That's crazy. But yeah, we probably want the 99k because by the time Mraz makes money or whatever, it's going to be too late. Like I'm already be completed by then. So yeah, we'll catch Cherry on the way down. So let's say Ben Murphy comes in. That leaves us 520k. Get rid of Banfield. And we can have anyone we want. Yes, it's sideways, but you'll see in a second what I'm actually doing. It would be nice if I had a boost right now, but who do we want? Who's going crazy right now? Brad Hill, maybe. Looks pretty good for the price. 450. He's going to keep scoring well until Sinclair comes back. And even then, he might be okay. Because they've got this Marvel run. And the Saints are just possessing the ball. Yeah, kind of dependent on Sinclair, I guess. Let's say we go Hill and we find out that Sinclair's not back for the rest of the year or thereabouts. As we get Hill in, that leaves me with 221k. And so next week, it would probably be Cumming and maybe Sharp out for a mid. So that would take me down to... Actually, you know what? I could almost go from... I could just go Cumming to a mid with one trade. Then that leaves me 3. Yeah, and then that flex finally. Could get rid of... I could upgrade Hugo. And then that leaves me basically with 1 injury trade for... By that stage, probably 5 weeks. Well, it's probably cutting it a bit fine. I guess, do I want to make the choice of conserving some of those injury trades and just have the 22 primos instead of the 23? Or do we go for broke and go the 23 and just hope that we only need the 1 injury trade? Oh, yeah, going to have to work that one out. I'm not sure. Might not be able to do that this week anyway with Whitfield out. Like, no doubt Cherry's going. I can guarantee you that right now, unless something crazy happens. But Hugo's probably going to have to cover Whitfield. So, yeah, I'll work it out. I haven't really looked yet. It's pretty much the first time I've opened the app since lockout. So as always, I don't really work out for sure what I'm going to do until I even see Sunday's teams. Can always guarantee there's going to be some spanner thrown in the works there. But yeah, that's where we're at. Still keeping at it. See how high we can finish, or see how much I can stop the slide at least. But yeah, it's pretty gone now, I think. But that's fine. Like I said, it's all about learning for next year. There's always another year, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a much better round. I've seen some massive scores out there. I think the score of the week was like 2,800 and something, which is probably the biggest score I've seen in a long time. I think the record was like 2,900, so not far off that. Yeah, the comments have been heaps interesting actually the last couple of weeks, so keep them coming, that's for sure. Really like hearing other people's philosophies and stuff. And again, I just want to cover, so the video I made about the season being split in thirds, and I started it off with Boz's comment. I really don't have anything against that comment. He made a great point, I think. I fully agree with it. And you can see the fact that my team slipped down again this week, that he was right. It is a bang average team. And that's why the rank is in free fall. So yeah, don't get angry at Boz for the comment. It's fine. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I'm quite critical of my own team, so it doesn't bother me too much if he is. So yeah, I think that's it. I will make a trade video this week because I imagine it's going to be a pretty big move. So yeah, we got to make one last ditch effort, I think, to try and get this ship back on course. So that's it. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you in the trade video.